Good morning. You wanted some pics from me.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Keshe. Good morning. How are you?
Well, not too bad. You were asking for some pictures.
No, I was going to ask if it was okay for me to share a picture, Mr. Keshe, and I did share one. I just shared one briefly. That was what it was.
Which one?
It was just some GANs making one of the things I went to see with Herbert.
Ah, okay. No problem.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'll leave it with you. Anything else?
Do you have
some pictures you wanted to share with us, Mr. Keshe?
Regarding what? The factory, the pig production company section.
Well, yes, Mr. Keshe, that was what I was referring to when I was speaking to you about that. Yes.
This is a trial going nearly 2 years, and we are assessing different aspects of the technology, and we keep on changing to see what's the maximum optimum. We are looking at the social structure with this trial more than the animal structure, what effects has on the people around, and plus the animals. This is a project which is accepted by the farming authorities to be trialed, and is now it's in the second year, actually in its third year soon. And it took us nearly 5 or 6 months to develop the technology. And all parts of the Keshe Foundation worldwide have participated in this, from manufacturing, the control, everything else. And at the moment, with this kind of things, we are looking at every aspect. Be it the food we control from the seed to grown, fed to the animals, the growth of the animals, and then what we get from the end products when the animals sold, if we can monitor with the customers. And we're looking at the social structure of the workers, how, or their farmers and their families, how it affects them. This, miniature thing, trial, one of the many trials we're doing around the world with farming, but this is one of the integrated one from seed to the end product animal, because it's all in the same environment, and it's been approved by the authorities before we start, because you need the permission that such a trial can take place, and the farm by the permission, and it's going on. There's we are looking at the harvest, we're looking at the growth of the illnesses, how much material they use, how fast they grow. We learned a lot how the animals emotionally are affected, and all sorts of things, how the families have, by just being in the environment and eating the food for 2 years, how they have changed, because it has a social structure change. And I was actually in the farm about 3 weeks ago. And we're looking at everything. And then if there is a development modification, we modify again and see what's the change with a new modification. It's a long-term project. We have another 2-3 projects like this going for 3, 4, or 5 years now. But these are not in public, and Dean shouldn't have shared it in that way, but it is part of the work we do. Any questions?
So, Mr. Keshe, you mentioned about the pigs. So, do we know how are the pigs interacting? How have they? Is it elevated them? Are they? How are they interacting in the environment?
We don't. I don't want to talk about this in public in this way, okay, because it's an ongoing trial. This is an ongoing process, and we are not just looking at. We're looking at the food and its interaction with the social structure. Because we saw this one in the trial in Australia with Jim, the vegetables, when they put in the shop, they were sold faster than others. People specifically came for it because they made the relationship connection with it. So we are looking at the other side of it. And now with what we tested 2 weeks ago, these things are not counted anymore. We don't look at the food structure the way we done up to now. And yesterday I was in touch with the, World Health Authorities, that we want to try. You've got the famine, you've got the situation of the disaster now you have in America. People have no food. If they gather in the stadium, just instead of being somebody brings them a handout of food, we can, through what we tested on the 19th and the 16th, we can feed the population. This is how it's going to be done in space now. We're talking to people who matter. In a point of disaster, you cannot get food, impossibilities. And it takes a long time, and these are long-term commitments. So we have the data, we know how we interacted in food in Chinese trials. We have in China people nearly 3 years haven't eaten any food. With that and what we did, tests we've done with new technology, you just need to deliver a specific kind of materials to the people, and through the specific speakers which we have developed and we're developing, people just get fed. You can't get a lot of people going through Corona. You just correct them by sitting in a room with 200-300, maybe 1,000 people. The technology is past this, but we still carry on with the trial. We don't need to feed, we don't need to eat. Now we can feed remote. That's how it's going to be in space. This was the main target of the space program, because now the Americans send people to the moon. If something happens, they stand to wait, let's say a month or 2 weeks, they'll die of hunger. If any of them come up with a disease, they can't return, they die of illness. If they run out of fuel, they can't come back, they die. With this method, we are working with NASA, we feed them directly on the line. And very soon we'll run trials like this with space organizations. We guarantee the food and the medicine, they just carry food as packages of backup.
So the food they're going to carry, Mr. Keshe, is just to feed their emotions, like that condition you've spoken about where, it's the enjoyment of chewing and being social. But we won't need that interaction anymore. Really, it's you're being fed from the fields.
We did this in 2007, 2008, 2009. We ran tests where people were not eating, and they just said, "Give us something to chew that we feel we've eaten something." We knew this 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Now the technology development is at the point that we can do. Very soon we run trials with the space organizations. We ask them not to feed their, the people in space, and see how long we can maintain them. Because that's a control condition. We're talking to people involved in the space station, how we can run such a trial. The main concern is what would the effect be on them physically. And it takes a lot of governmental and other people decisions. And in the background, one of the reasons we run the food section of the 19th of December trial was part of the Space Program International for Keshe Foundation.
How are Mr. Keshe, may I ask, so how are the space entities that we have present, how are they interacting with this knowledge now? Are they taking your experiences and your knowledge forward?
No, certain knowledge carried out. This at the moment is carried out everywhere. the 19th test results was very important for us because that's outside the framework of the Keshe Foundation. That involves our work with the international organizations. But knowledge seekers see the benefit of it. It creates the data as we develop to them. The results, the way we showed the graphs and the data electronically on Thursday about the 16th flight is in the same position, same what we call it category. The Monday test results was part of the international work of the Keshe Foundation. We don't disclose things. A lot of people do a lot of stupid things. So what we know, what we work with the people we work, we can do.
Mr. Keshe, on the 19th, did you have 2 different experiments or was it only one?
We had 4 different experiments.
With the one I was in, we were under 20 people.
When? On the 19th?
Yes.
On the 19th, we had limited, we didn't want more than 5 or 6, and some of them it became 20 because we monitor small communities.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
I think we were 18 active ones, yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't our target. We literally are happy with 5 or 6 because then we monitor close individual interactions. And in a space technology, that's what we needed. We wanted. But anyway, the role we didn't refuse. It gives us data. The graphs you saw on Thursday, we have a huge number of those on the Monday trial. We continuously, now we had the data on Friday, we analyzed it over the weekend, and then on Monday we went more specific to see where we hit, what we do, what we see. We, on the food section, we did something like 20 trials in that 1 hour. I monitored every time we changed something, how the people reacted.
How did they react, Mr. Keshe? Can you say?
No, we are not disclosing. That's just too hard work. We still got a lot to do. Okay. We don't disclose anything, but at the moment, we monitor everything. The same as you saw, everything we do is scientific, digital. It's not just for you lot to see if you're hungry or not. It's for us to see when we feed you, how you react, how the energy reacts. That was the main object of the exercise. And then we go into the space programs, how we can feed the people in the space station for weeks without eating. But that means a lot of work to be done with NASA and the Russian Space Agency. The NASA side is easy for us. The Russian Space Agency at the moment with the cuts are a big problem.
So are the fields, Mr. Keshe, completely different in, obviously they are, when you are in a condition in space or whether you're on the planet, so that the feeding is different or the same?
There is no difference.
There's no difference.
One we both carry on a cosmic rays. There is no way anybody can copy it. There's no system to copy cosmic rays. When you look at the data, flat data, when all the souls became one, never been seen before. And it's by instruction, it's not by accidentally happen. And this is how we will go through different structures to test more and more. We're running a test in northeast of Iran. We are feeding chickens with this technology. And there has been no food going into the farm. No medicine. So
I can see sorry.
Access to cosmic rays, the breakthrough which you wanted, but it's something we tested in 2007, 6.
Mr. Keshe, can I quickly ask you, so what is a cosmic ray?
It's what you are created up and you ignored it.
I remember you speaking about it before, saying that we become part of a structure and then we entangle, and then but a cosmic ray, once released, travels on and on. So are we entangled within our condition that we find ourselves?
Oh, we are created out of entanglements.
Mm-hmm.
We are byproduct of the entanglements, and then us become in our structure of entanglement, we become creator of other entanglements and other lives. Ask yourself one single question, and if man can answer that question, man has found a lot of answers to himself. How do the worms eat you up when you die? Where does that worm come from? How come you put an apple which has no connection to nothing and you see a worm coming out of it? And you don't see from other apples creating a worm. How do you put lentils in a clean, sealed, radiated lentils, and after a while you see a worm coming out of it, a life created? Man just looks at it but haven't understood the reason. Now we can explain the reason. We can explain the science behind it. So your entanglement has led to creation of another entanglement, which is a worm, and has a soul and has a life.
I see this at home with spider webs. Every night I've got at least 20 or 30 spider webs. They create enormous spider webs. And what do they feed off of? I don't have any mosquitoes or flies or anything. They just appear, and they're enormous. I've never seen such big spider webs.
Well, these are microscopic food they take. They take microscopic food.
And the web itself is very much thinner than the normal spider web.
Yeah, but it's stronger. I have to go. I do apologize. I just came to answer this question. I have to go into a meeting. I'm sitting waiting to go in. Thank you very much. And I hope one day we can unravel all this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. That was a wonderful, beautiful thing you've left with us about the worm. We will ponder this for a while.
Don't give information out because you're standing near to